Hey everybody, welcome to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I've covered in previous videos a little bit, which is getting your own food locally and what are some of the benefits of growing your own food. Um, I'll briefly cover those right now, but ultimately, I think one of the main things that people are starting to see is that you reduce some of the inefficiencies and the reliance on fossil fuels if you're not having to ship food from one area of the world to another. You're also able to maximize the nutritional value of the food because you're able to pick it and harvest it when it's at its peak ripeness, as opposed to having to pick it earlier and then ship it around the world. Another benefit is that you greatly improve the well-being of your own community and the people living there near you. So I think there's a lot of increase now in seeing like community gardens and home gardening and even homesteading being like increasingly interesting to people of all backgrounds. They want to save money. They want to be able to do things, be more self-reliant, and choose what kind of chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, etc., that they may or may not want included in their own food. A lot of people are interested in keeping away from like genetically modified foods and things like that. So there's a lot of benefit to growing your own food, and not least, like I said, that it's cheap if you can do it yourself. So if you have some land, even like a small backyard, it's a great way to lessen your food bill and try and grow some of the food that you consume. And this is exactly the topic for today. I want to encourage everybody to just think that this is not something that like you have to wait until you've got like X amount of money and you can buy like some huge piece of property and you're going to be a homesteader and grow all of your own food. I think it's such a big lofty goal, and some people really strive for like total self-reliance or like or like independence, and they really want to be able to grow all of their own food. I think that that's fine if somebody wants to do that, but it's a really kind of like big thing, and it's really difficult. And I think that kind of keeps away some people, and in fact, it kept me away from wanting to garden at some points in my life, because it just feels like overwhelming and you don't know where to start. And I think I've come to a point where I really see the benefit of doing anything, any small little thing that you can do is a really good step in the right direction. So if you can just plant a couple of, pieces of lettuce, and that's one or two pieces of lettuce that buy less in the store that's imported from somewhere else, that's already a step in the right direction. If you can plant one fruit tree, one, shrub, one whatever, a little couple patches of strawberries, whatever it is that you enjoy and that you can maintain and not worry about so much and not get stressed out about and get a little bit of benefit from, I think is a really good thing. And I think the video I'm going to share with you now is a little preparation for a mushroom dish that I made during lunch. And it's a good example of what you can do when you start thinking of it in this little way, that like I can just do one little component, one little aspect of something that I eat that is grown locally. That's already a step in the right direction. So the gist of it is that my brother and his wife, they're really pretty knowledgeable about mushrooms, and I've mentioned this in some videos that I want to grow my knowledge about mushrooms. So I'm gonna hopefully go pick some mushrooms with them at some point. But they just went and picked some really great mushrooms a couple days ago, and I was lucky enough that they had so many that they decided to share some with us. So we got some mushrooms from them, and I cooked them up. And I didn't have enough to make a whole meal, so I actually supplemented some mushrooms that I bought from the store. And what you'll see is that I used mostly store bought ingredients, and I just had some of the mushrooms from them. But ultimately, that's fine. If you're thinking that hey, I've got some of the edible weeds that I've covered in previous videos, maybe just get your store bought lettuce and your tomatoes and peppers and whatever else you're putting in there, and maybe just supplement it. Throw in some of those edible weeds, dandelions, etc., the greens that you have growing for free in your own backyard, and it's a step in the right direction. So anyway, with that, I hope you enjoy this recipe, Check it out. Let me know what you think. I think it came out pretty good. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching it, and if you do, please remember to subscribe and share this with a friend. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Here's the video. Thanks. Alright, today we are going to cook up some delicious mushrooms. Got three kinds. The first one over here, I'm checking my notes here, is called the king trumpet mushroom, or sometimes king oyster mushroom, and then some other names that I don't remember off the top of my head. And the scientific or Latin name is Pleurotus eringi. I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation too badly. In Hungarian it's called ördögszekér. And the next mushroom down the line is the shiitake, which most people hopefully are pretty familiar with. Those are really healthy and super nutritious. That has a Latin name of Lentinula edodes. And the last one I actually received from my brother and his wife. They went mushroom picking, which is awesome that they brought me this many. I'm really happy about it. Those are called fenyőtinoru in Hungarian, and the Latin name is Suillus colinitus. I will put links in the description to all the different types of mushrooms there. But yeah, I'm going to cook these up. We're going to do an onion base. We're going to saute some peppers, hot pepper, some green onions, purple onion, yellow onion, and we're going to put some chopped fresh ginger in there as well. So hopefully this comes out nice. I will show you the process as it goes. Got the onions sauteing. So again, I'm using my no oil method here. Just stir every once in a while. When you see things starting to stick, you just throw in a little splash of water. I'll show that in a little bit. And meanwhile, what I'm doing is chopping up the peppers. This is a sweet pepper. This is a hot pepper that I got from my brother a while back. There's another video where I talked about the eating the rainbow. You should check that out. And that's one of the hot peppers he gave me. So we're going to cook up this mushroom batch as a nice spicy meal. Okay, so you see the onions are starting to stick a little bit at the bottom. All you need to do, throw a little splash of water in, and you're good to go. Stir that up. All the delicious caramelization just comes right up from the bottom, and you got a nice clear pan again. Sorry for the steam, I think it's a little hard to see, but as soon as that goes away, you should be able to see it a little better. There you go. And you can do this, once or twice more, depending on how caramelized you want your onions, before you add in anything else. And another little trick to save time in the kitchen is when you got your onions sauteing like this, for example, that's when you're chopping up your other ingredients like the peppers and the mushrooms and what have you. So that saves a little bit of time. And then one more tip that I just want to share really quick is the hot peppers. So a couple things. Most of the heat is concentrated in the seeds, or the little I don't know what you call it, but the little thin membrane that the seeds sit on. So if you pull that out and chop up the rest of the pepper, it's going to be a lot less spicy. Right now I'm a wuss. I haven't really been eating spicy food for quite some time, so that's what I've done now, because I don't want to be suffering too much as I eat this. But yeah, just a handy trick in case anybody that you're cooking for doesn't tolerate super spicy food really well. Okay, so I think these onions are looking good. I'm going to add my peppers now. Okay, the peppers are starting to stick a little bit now too, so I'm going to add another splash of water. And meanwhile, I have chopped up the fresh ginger, so that's going to go in next. And then once that's sauteing, I'm going to get it working on chopping up all the mushrooms. Alright, everything's softened up really nicely and starting to stick again a little bit, so I'm going to dump in the mushrooms. I've chopped everything up now. And I'm going to throw everything in and then put a little bit of water and stir it all up. Okay, so everything's cooking nicely. I'm going to cover it for a few minutes and I'm going to throw together the spices, and yeah, we'll let this cook a little bit. I always like to add the spices kind of at the end. Lately I've been doing that. I don't know why, but I think somehow it comes out a little bit better, more flavorful. Okay, so I got my spices ready to go. Some salt. Turmeric, ground fennel or caraway seeds, paprika, a little bit of rosemary, some basil or oregano is fine too, and some pepper. So this is going to be going straight in. The mushrooms are really starting to soften up and look really good. The smell is incredible. I wish you could smell it. It is quite a treat. So anyway, in go the spices. We'll stir it up and then let it go for another few minutes, and it's going to be ready in just a little bit. Alright, so we're done cooking. I've taken out a small batch for myself. I did do a quick taste and it tastes amazing. I wanted to make a side dish to go with this. I wanted to do barley today, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet, so I'm just going to eat this with bread for now and make some barley later. But this would obviously pair really well with just about any starch. So rice, potatoes, pasta, whatever you prefer. Maybe some other type of wheat, bulgur, or I don't know, spelt, whatever you want. So yeah, tastes great, super quick, super nutritious. Mushrooms have a lot of vitamins and protein and all sorts of good stuff for us. If you buy certain commercial types, they already are exposed to UV light, and they have vitamin D as well. So for vegans, that could be a good way to supplement your vitamin D, especially if you live in an area where you can't get outside a lot in the winter. So anyway, yeah, tastes great. I'm really happy to have gotten these mushrooms from my brother and sister-in-law, and yeah, rock on. Gonna eat this.